there's also the component of playing this game of waiting for the phone to ring that I think, gosh, I'm a little bit sick of it, tell you the truth, at this point in my life. And what is rewarding for me, and how do I keep my creative soul nourished without it being dependent on a business that is rewarding as it is cruel.
I'm Helen Tansey, and this is Coming Into Focus, a podcast about aging, health, healing, reinvention, and the beauty of becoming. Each episode, I sit down with inspiring guests to share honest conversations, powerful stories, and the wisdom that helps us live more fully. Because when we ask meaningful questions, when we listen deeply and share our stories, we remember that we are not alone, and that has the power to change the way we see ourselves, each other, and the world. Okay, let's get to the conversation. Today, I sit down with an actress I've admired for many years, Nancy Travis. Nancy has built a remarkable career that has spanned decades, from beloved films like 3 Men and a Baby to So I Married an Axe Murderer. Hit television series such as The Kominsky Method, The Last Man Standing, and a recent role in Rescued by Faith. What has always stood out to me about Nancy is her incredible range. She moves effortlessly between comedy and drama, bringing warmth, intelligence, strength, and heart to every role she plays. There is something timeless about her presence and something deeply relatable in the women that she portrays. I was especially excited to have Nancy join me because she represents something I carry deeply about a woman who is continuing to evolve, create, and show up fully through every season of life. Now, let's get to the conversation with Nancy. Nancy, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. Thanks.
So, I guess a question that I'd love to ask all my guests before we get into our conversation is if you are comfortable sharing your age. And
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm 64.
you're 64. And how do you feel about aging?
Oh my gosh, you're jumping right into it. How do I feel about aging? It's interesting because I never really thought about it. I'm not a person who marks every birthday like I have to have a big celebration, and it's got to be a notch in the "I'm getting older, oh no" kind of thing. But something did happen when I turned 60, and some newspaper put a list of here's everybody born on this day and their age, and seeing the number kind of brought me up short, and I thought, "Oh my gosh, how did I get here?" And
Yeah.
it looked like a big number, which I never really think of it that way. But that said, I really subscribe to the cliche, it's not how old you are, it's how old you feel.
Yeah.
And truthfully, some days I feel like I'm 64 and I'm tired and searching for words in my brain. And some days I feel like I'm 24. So it's hard to gauge. I think it's just life process.
It is. It is. So there's something I want to share with you, that little 6 degrees of separation. When I was 19, so I'm turning 60 this year, I started dating this actor in Toronto, and he was from LA, and he was doing I think it was Police Academy 4 or something like that, and we had started dating, and then he came back in town because he got this huge movie, 3 Men and a Baby.
Oh, I know who it is.
You know who it is, Steve Guttenberg. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
thought but I when I was doing my research on you, I forgot that that was, like, one of your biggest sort of roles, like, breaking into this industry, wasn't it?
It really was, and it was just you could never know how something's going to play out, whether it's going to be successful or not. And it was something that I auditioned for in New York. I was living in New York and got pretty far along in the audition process. And then the director fell out, and I was told they're going to recast, and then they're looking for an English actress. And
Oh.
so sorry, but good luck. And I said, "Well, I can do an accent. Can I please audition again? I can do an English accent. Let me try." So, I auditioned again and ended up getting the part and I had great time. And the guys were so welcoming and wonderful. And Steve, sweetheart, I still run into him every now and then in the supermarket. And he always comes up to me and says, "You know what? We should do another one of those. That was great. We should do another like three men and a old lady or something."
The grandbaby.
Yeah, 3 men and whatever, and then that led to 3 men and a little lady, and it ended the 3 men and a baby ended up being a huge surprise hit, which was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. But you've had this career, this sort of illustrious career where you've done film, you've done television. When you look back, whether the roles, is it themselves or longevity of career, how has it shaped who you are today and what most stands out to you?
You're asking me this question at a very interesting crossroads in all of it, and I am at a point in this business. First of all, the business is changing and very much so. It's constricting. There's a lot less work. And I also feel like at the moment, while there are wonderful roles for women, there are very, very few of them. And um I I have had a wonderful career. I'm happy that I've kept working and I don't think I never think that that's just a matter of luck. I think I have been driven and really focused and worked hard. And those choices that I've made have also been a lot about trying to balance my life with work. I started out wanting one thing and then I fell in love and then I adjusted things and then I had children and things adjusted even further. And yeah, and then certain roles were simply about making money. And, so now I'm here and I think, gosh, what do I wanna do and how am I still creatively fulfilled here? Is it enough to just do bits and pieces and cobble together things just for the sake of keeping a toe in the water? And sometimes I say yes, and even in the most I don't know what a good word is. I may be in the silliest or of parts or the bottom feeder of roles. I managed to find something redeeming for myself, but there's also the component of playing this game of waiting for the phone to ring that I think, gosh, I'm a little bit sick of it, tell you the truth, at this point in my life. And what is rewarding for me, and how do I keep my creative soul nourished without it being dependent on a business that is rewarding as it is cruel. So, yeah, so to answer that question, I have been writing a great deal and I write for myself. I don't write to I have to get published, I have to get in because I assume that's just as uh nasty a
Difficult.
business as acting. But yeah, and just writing and telling stories, which is really why I went into acting anyway, to tell stories. So now I am also writing stories and I
Good.
like that and it's discovering different voices and it's interesting taking what the craft that I know as an actress and translating that into words. So it's been fun.
But I think that's important because I think that now we need stories. I think that people are hungry for that and real stories, like very authentic. And so I love that you're doing that because I think that we need that more. And I think that we need that more with what we're watching also. And especially as women, as we age, we need to see that. I mean, like I always remember like Something's Gotta Give or, where it was like these love stories with older women. And we need more of that. Like love isn't just for younger people, right? And to
Right.
have these actresses telling these stories, whether it be, after divorce or after somebody passes or whatever it is, it's like we don't just stop. And I would love to see more that sort of style of storytelling where it's older women.
I very much agree with you. I was just walking my dogs this morning and ran into a director friend, and we were having a conversation similar to this. And what are you watching? What are you streaming? What are you binging? And I find that very little holds my interest, and whether it's I mean, I you have a point about true stories about older women, but I just think you could even make a broader point about true stories. Just just things that aren't manipulative entertainment or preachy entertainment. Just tell a true story, a true human story, and you've got me. I mean, that's what we're kind of moving away from, and it's disappointing. I mean, I look at the Oscar nominated movies, and I thought, wow, where's the honesty in these stories? Where are the stories that don't try to be something you're not. Don't try to be fantastical in a way that is a lie. So, I think that's a challenge. It's not easy, and I think it requires a vulnerability and a courage that I think a lot of people there is confusion. If
And even the attention span, because I find that there's a couple of series. There's one that I watched recently called Task, and it's the same people who did Mare of Easttown. I loved it, but it's slow. And I remember at times I'm like, "Okay, this is a little slow," but then I was like, "No, enjoy this, Helen," because we're so used to, the Marvel movies or these big movies where everything is so fast and quickly edited, and I'm finding now that I'm loving that slower journey, and I'm really trying to stay in it and let the stories unravel in, like, more of a meaningful, beautiful way and not tying it all up neatly.
Yes, well, Brad Inglesby, he's one of my favorites. I mean, I think he does an amazing job with storytelling and revealing place and character and just nuance. And I think you're right. It's having the patience, but it but there's something in the storytelling, in the writing that hooks you and lets you know to stay with it. It asks you to invest yourself rather than waiting for some big thing to happen. It grabs you right away and holds on to you, and you feel an emotional investment. You don't know why, but you keep watching. So that's a real talent to be able to do that. And I think it's a testament to the actors. Those actors are fantastic, and they
Yes.
really um, open themselves up and ask you to come with them on this ride. They're not hiding anything.
No. No, and I remember Mare of Easttown, I was just floored with that series. All
Same.
of the women were incredible.
Yes,
So
I
what
agree.
do you do as an artist? Because I know I'm a photographer, and there are times, like, in any sort of artistry where you're extremely busy and then, slow periods, and I've been in this profession now for 35 years, and I find that sometimes when it gets slow, there's that, like, "Okay, am I not relevant anymore? Am I too old?" Or, "Do nobody" what do you do when those sort of doubts come, when we're not working maybe as much as we hope to sort of not feel defeated or like there's something wrong with you, but just understanding that this is just a part of the industry?
That is very challenging. And when I say some days I feel like I'm 64 and some days 24, I mean, I think a lot has to do with wrestling with that dynamic. I think if I tell myself, "Don't feel this way, it's destructive and useless," and then I go down this rabbit hole of, "It's everybody's fault," and, it just is ugly, 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 and I don't like it. I hate myself, and I hate myself when I feel like I'm pandering or, um, and I think it's also just I have to make a conscious choice to step out of it and and talk myself off the ledge, basically, and it is a certain mindfulness and centering that I step back and I step out of the moment and look at the big picture, and even just get outside, get in nature. Um, and as I said, I write or read a book or invest in something that isn't scrolling social media that just makes me feel worse. And
Yes.
and the nature of this business, I know the kind of business I am. It's cyclical. It comes around. And if you believe you're in it for the long haul, something always comes about. But I do want to say, when I started this conversation at this point in my life, I am wondering if maybe there's something else for me. So, not that I want to give up acting because I love it, and but maybe not make it the main focus of my life. So it's not
I get
about job to
that.
job to job and waiting for the part. Similarly, I think when you let go of that, things come to you in unexpected ways.
Yes. And you're also, you said you're 64 and I turning 60, like there's these reflections that you go through. And you've been doing this quite a long time also, and you can still do it, but maybe there's another part of you that longs to be explored that isn't just that one sort of artistry.
Right.
And
Right.
especially as women, we kind of get put into these lanes and it's like, stay in your lane. And it's like, well, maybe it's right. Like you can go into different lanes and try different things.
Right, right, and I think we have an opportunity now. I really do believe it's a very much a man's business, unfortunately, and I do think that now with the advance of technology and other outlets like podcasting or making your own movie on a smartphone or just having a platform like Substack, there are other outlets for women to drive the narrative. And I think we need to take advantage of that if we want to. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, what do you want to do? Because and I think it's knowing that you can. You just
Yes.
can.
Yes.
So, and that sort of goes with rather than sitting home bitching and moaning and waiting for the phone to ring, just go do something else and not make it not make it a success or failure equation.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And it's just creating that movement in your life, right? It's instead of waiting for it to happen, you make it happen. So you have played so many interesting characters. I recently watched you last year, and I was late to this series, but I quite liked it. The Mercedes Man.
Oh, Mr. Mercedes. Yeah.
Mr. Mercedes. It's very twisted. It's really
Yes. Oh
twisted
my
at
gosh.
parts,
Yeah.
but I was surprised, I didn't know that you were in it, and when you were in it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love her." I was so excited, and you have this beauty and this compassion that you bring to your work, and
Thank you.
that you bring to these female characters. Do you have when you do these roles, like, do you when you read them, are you like, "Oh, this is, like, something" like, have you ever read a role and go, "Nope, this is not in alignment with who I am," or
Oh, yes. Yes. And when I do, sometimes there's, especially for women, they're like cutouts of roles. They're not real people. They're just kind of she is the wife and she agrees with her husband no matter what he says. And I try to find the soul in that person. And often the soul is funny. What is humorous about a situation or a person or a relationship, and just what is the emotional hook for me? Like what gets me? What for me, Nancy Travis, makes me want to say something here. So, and that's what I tend to have to find. And sometimes I read things and I think, ugh, this is just there is nothing redeeming in this person. It doesn't mean that it has to be a good person. I just mean something that I can connect to.
yes, I agree.
And it can be somebody who's not well, I always think even in the most evil looking people, they're motivated by something that they really believe in.
Yes,
So it's finding that.
yeah. Do you feel when you look at right now, I find that there is a bit of a shift happening with women in conversations around aging. And when you look at Hollywood, even like for so long, we heard mostly about women, how hard it is for aging. There are challenges, but I feel like women are starting to embrace their age and talking about getting older is not as something that we are losing, but as something that we are gaining. From your perspective, what do you think women actually gain with age that society still doesn't talk about nearly enough?
I think there is a subtle shift that it isn't over, that there's another chapter, that there's possibility. And I think for a long time for women, you hit a certain age and okay, well, just wait for the grandchildren and sit at home and hang out, play mahjong, and that's that. And like for some women, maybe that's fulfilling. And I think a lot of women are taking care of themselves. Look, aging happens and you can do the best you can for that, but your body breaks down. It just is mitochondria, it just all everything breaks down. But there is a lot of advancement, I think, in just health for women and wanting to take care of yourself and wanting to just be healthy for as long as you can. And it's not about living forever, and it's not about trying to be young forever, but be the best version of yourself at a given time. And and look, there's a lot of people that are actresses, that are models, that are influencers, that are uh, worship at the the plastic surgery place. And I'm all for it. I think, you know what? Do whatever you can that makes you feel good. But we're also seeing is there a point where it's too much? At what point are we just trying to run from beauty that is, just beautiful? Maybe a woman aging is beautiful. Why does it have to be, oh gosh, she looks old. Oh boy, does she look old. Oh boy, she really should do something. I mean, why is that?
I know. It's sad. And we don't I still think we don't do that to men. Like when you see someone like, Sean Penn who's got the gray hair and very wrinkles, people go, "Oh my god, like he's distinguished," or but with women, we're not as kind.
We're not as kind, but I do have to say, I mean, and Sean Penn's I think he's an outlier. I think that I think men are getting as much plastic surgery as women and maybe even more,
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, the couples that I know that are getting facelifts and fillers and things like that, the husbands or the men in the relationship are getting it first and possibly getting it more. So it's an interesting. I think it's more than just for women. It's a broader cultural thing, and I think we want the quick fix, rather than doing the walk or taking the vitamin. We want the where's the pill? Where's the pill? Where's the injection? How much do I have to pay to get rid of this and that? And
I was talking to a friend of mine that the other day. She's a nutritionist and she's a yogi, and she was saying all the like about peptides and this now, and you can inject them for your skin, and she was saying you can get that through living a healthy life if you eat the right foods, if you work out, if you sleep, if you manage your stress. But reiterating what you just said, that everybody just wants that quick fix, and not also realizing that part of the joy in it is the work. For me, I find, like, when I take care of myself and I go for those walks with my dog and I eat well, like, it's the process also that can be quite magical for us.
and the habit, just creating the habit. And look, disease comes. You can't avoid that. But in the meantime, do the best that you can, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. When you see now all the streaming channels, there's so many great shows out there, but I feel like we're not getting I went to a movie, which I loved going to the movie theater, and I think part of it is like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't been in so long."
What did you go see?
I went and saw the drama.
Oh, that's in theaters?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, with Zendaya and Robert Patterson.
Pattison, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and I quite enjoy it's an indie film, quite enjoyed it, I thought it was great, but I also love that experience of going, getting my popcorn, getting my drink, and sitting there, and I miss that. Do you think that what is it gonna be now for movies? Like, do you think movies are is there a shift that it's just gonna be we're sitting at home and watching them on TV? Because it used to be too that I think to get those great writers and directors and actors, it was more movies that you saw that in, and now TV has gotten quite good. And you were just in an amazing series, an amazing movie.
Thanks. I don't know to answer your question because with AI and everything advancing and look, if people even watch things on their TV, that's a bigger screen than my sons watch stuff on their phones. I mean, it may even get to the point where we have to buy a Netflix chip that you put in your head to watch Netflix. I don't know, but I hope that what ends up happening is things like going to the movies, things that put people in a space together
I agree.
outside of their homes becomes what we all crave and need community, because that's what we're kind of losing with everything is that just a sense of everybody being together, like at a concert or going to the movies or anything.
Yeah, yeah,
And just even crafts. I mean, just what can you do with your hands? What can you do for your soul, for your body? What brings us together?
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Do you find that at this juncture in your life that you look forward to not what AI is doing at all, but just sort of what is going to come of those actors that really and writers and directors that are like, "Okay, let's make something incredible here." And that sort of moving like that AI cannot do.
I hope so. I mean, AI can do an awful lot. I don't know if you saw that little video that AI did. It was Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting. It was completely AI, but it was just like a fake kind of fight, and it looked very, very, very real, and can do a lot. But I hope that an AI can write books. AI can do a lot of these things that people can do. But I hope like I said, the process, the craft of doing things. I hope we can hold on to that
I do too.
and even invest in that deeper. That is what human beings can do. They can tell human stories, whereas other things can't.
It's funny, I did photos of a gentleman recently, and it was for a corporate shoot I was doing, and he said he just read an article on AI that when people use an AI photo on LinkedIn or for themselves professionally, that people don't trust it. And I asked him why, and he said, "Well, part of it is that people are like, 'Is this real or is this not?'" And I thought, I've had that experience where I've showed my boys something and they go, "Mom, that's AI." And I'm like, "Oh," like, I kinda feel like I've been duped, you know? So there is, like, a sense of people not trusting it when you watch, and I find that when I watch something now, I'm like, "Okay, is this real or is this AI?" And it causes that moment of not trusting.
I think that the trust, and right now we're very much at a place of not trusting, and that not trust is fearful. I think people are fearful, but I do think, and again, this is Nancy glass half full. I think we're going to bridge that at some point very quickly, and either we'll figure out how to trust it and live with it, and work in tandem with it, or be doomed by it. So, um, and look, I don't know if you've ridden in a Waymo.
No.
Do you know what they are, these Waymo
No.
cars? Okay,
No.
so you don't have the so I'm in Los Angeles, and Waymo are self-driving cars, and they are the new Ubers, and it's bizarre to see one with no driver, people in the back seat, and they're all over the place here. They're not on the freeways yet, but they're all over the place. And and things like that are becoming very commonplace. And even those little cocoa little looks like a little cooler that's doing deliveries. So those things are kind of wild. And I mean, we're seeing robots everywhere. And and I think that's just gonna become a commonplace. We're gonna go beyond the, "Oh my god, that's so bizarre," to
The Jetsons.
yeah, a little bit, and it's happening really, really quickly, and given that, either we figure out how to work with it and harness it, and I think we have to not be afraid of that innovation, and look, especially in things like medicine, and in making our lives easier, and in aging. I mean, we're talking about aging. I think AI is gonna be transformative.
Yeah, yeah. You said something earlier, you said glass half full. You said in Nancy fashion glass. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. Is that somebody like you see the glass is half full?
Yes,
I love that.
I would say I usually do. My husband loves to tease me and say I travel lightly, which I never know if he's complimenting me or insulting me. I'm not quite sure. But I tend to be just blithely going along and put on a happy face and don't let anybody see whatever is upsetting you. And again, in that negotiation that I have with myself, I mean, I go just to a certain point of despair. And then I flip a switch and say, "You know what? Just wake up and tomorrow, meh, yeah, oh, look, a residual check came. See, it's all good. Everything's good."
You know, it's funny, it is like we create these narratives, right? Like nothing is happening to us. We create these stories that try to help us make sense of things, but then sometimes it's like we have to just stop doing that and just go, it's okay. Like we've got enough.
I think too, I mean, and I don't think this is even a word, but I'm not a catastrophizer. So I don't look at the world and say, "Oh, this is the end. Oh, this is horrible." Unless it really is. And I think there's not a lot of things that are really horrible. Illness is really horrible. War is really horrible. But in our day-to-day life, I feel like a lot of us catastrophize so that it makes us paralyzed. And I don't know, it must be a hard way to get through the day.
And I think a lot of people are feeling that, but and it might
Mhm.
be a little Pollyanna, but I just think when we can choose love and those simple acts of kindness, I think is what's going to get us through all of this, you know?
Right.
And it's more powerful than we realize. It's more powerful than catastrophizing or complaining about things, of like seeing the good in things in people. If we can try and do that, I think that we can make change through that too.
Very much so. I don't know if you saw, did you see my dog
I
pass?
did. I love dogs. And when I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, come here.
Yeah, they're just like, "What's going on? Why is she in
I
there?"
know.
Uh,
Why
uh,
aren't I in there with her?
what's happening? Um, I don't know if you saw the Ben Sass interview on 60 Minutes. Ben Sass was a senator who, stepped away from the Senate because he felt like it was useless and nothing was really happening and just a lot of hot air and kind of static at the moment, and he became the president of some Florida university, I think. But anyway, he's got cancer now, uh, and 60 Minutes interviewed him, and he's got pancreatic cancer, so it's
Mhm.
but he's on some new drug that is helping and extending his life. But what he had to say, and I thought this was really profound, and he even said, maybe I have these feelings because I'm facing the end of my life, but and I don't care what I say. But he emphasized community and family and the fact that we are concerning ourselves with things that in the end don't matter. Our government is our concerns in our daily life, like the things that are really not important issues right now, are a smokescreen for what really we should be concentrating on. We really should be coming together, kindness, community,
I
uh,
agree.
and humanity.
I agree 100%. With that, I always love to offer my guests as we come to the end of the show. Is there anything in your heart or your soul that you would like to share with the listeners?
Oh, my heart and my soul. I think it's I think it's what we basically talked about. Just, I hope we can share our humanity with each other. I hope we can be less partisan, less angry, less hateful. And I for myself, I hope to have my health, have my family, and feel like I have a creative voice, if for no one else than just for myself.
Thank you for that. I hope that you continue to act. I think you are I
Thank you.
really do. I think you are such a great actress. I think you just have this beautiful energy about you. Um, I've always been a fan of one of my favorite movies is So I Married an Axe Murderer. I love
Oh my
that
gosh, yeah.
movie. And, of course, your
Thanks.
hair, you've got this fabulous mane of hair. Yeah, and you're and I just thank you for taking your time and just sharing yourself with us today. I really appreciate it so much.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the wonderful talk and wonderful questions, and I am also a fan of your photography, so, I hope you continue to do that, and, would love to have you photograph me sometimes.
I would love that. Do you ever come to Toronto? Never
You
know.
never know. Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Yeah.
much. Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
Helen.
Thank you for listening to Coming into Focus, and I hope that you liked this episode. I also hope that you'll listen, follow, rate, and review all of these episodes, which are available for free wherever you listen to podcasts.